3 weeks into September and the Postbank still hasn't sorted out its payment system. The crisis has left SASSA grant recipients out of pocket and yet to receive their payouts. Opposition Democratic Alliance says the situation is worse than officials actually make it out to be. And our reporter, eNCA's Hloni Mtimkulu, is out in Soweto tracking that story and joins me live now for the latest update. Hloni, a very warm good morning to you, colleague. Are there recipients still waiting to receive grants? I mean, how exactly did we get here?
Yeah, Dumela, it's day 15 today since the September payouts were meant to begin, and I'm going to just step out of line just to show you there aren't a lot of people that are here at the Lenasia post office outside, but there are people that have been allowed into the post office. A lot of them had been here since around 7 o'clock in the morning, waiting for the post office to open at around 8:30. There are, I would say, about 150 elderly people who are here to check if on day 15 they will be able to access their September grants. I mean, we're halfway through the month. Just you can think of the implications around that. Just to say, we met with some resistance from the post office themselves. They didn't want us here. Last week, they didn't want us to film around the premises. Today, I was inside, but they didn't want me there as well. So I think they may be feeling the pressure, or, they just have their own things as well. But they have not received their money, the pensioners, that is, and it is day 15, as I said. How we got here, we have been told that there was a technical glitch in Postbank system. But that was on day 1, day 2, around the 5th or the 6th of September. What technical glitch persists for 2 weeks where people are still not receiving their funding? Then the Postbank CEO said that the matter had been resolved on their end, that they had sorted out whatever the technical glitches were. And that was around the 6th or the 7th of September. And here we are on the 18th of September, and there are still recipients that have not yet been paid. Some of them even now, are still getting half their money. Some of them not at all their money. So it still persists. Now at this post office in Lenasia, there's a load shedding to deal with. So they've been here, the post office opened at 8:30. Some of them have been here since around 7 o'clock. They have still not been assisted. It's 10 o'clock, and now there's load shedding. And now they're having to wait a little bit longer. Just to add to the 2 weeks that have been happening. So not a great situation at all, and we're not sure who's taking accountability. We've kind of been told stories on what's going on, but so far it doesn't seem like anyone is going to take responsibility while this situation persists, Dumelo.
And so did you get a chance to speak to some of the recipients, some of the beneficiaries about how exactly they're getting by under these circumstances?
We did. There's a lot of borrowing of money that has been happening over the past 2 weeks. We're being told that it's a 36 Rand return trip from here, between here and home. Some of them are paying 70 Rand even to get by every day just to come here, having to borrow money from neighbors. Last week I remember someone was saying, it makes it complicated if I come here and I don't receive my money, but my next door neighbor does receive my money. Then the person I've borrowed money from thinks that I'm lying because I don't have money. We spoke to someone last week who says they've gone to a loan shark, and the loan sharks charge you 50 Rand back interest for every 100 Rand that you loan them, so that they are loaned. So now you can imagine how much that piles on debt. And these are people who say that they already had debt from months before. So you have debt, you have the situation, and then you're piling it on, plus you're paying a 50% interest. I think I heard that other people, the interest is even more than that. So there's a lot of borrowing that is going around at the moment, and it's not ideal. Like, you're just basically working, just constantly moving. You're taking one step forward and then taking a few steps back. And I'm not sure how this will be resolved. I'm not sure how they will be able to kind of catch up, given how long this has stretched out for, and also given the poor communication as well that has been circulating around this whole issue. We keep saying we've gotten messages on social media, but the elderly have not been receiving communication. Even at post offices, they're not being told what's the actual issue. They're just being told, come back in 3 days' time, come back in 10 days' time. But they're not being explained to what the issue is. The WhatsApp lines, the telephone lines that have been issued out as numbers to call in case they can't get their monies, those numbers are not going through. I tried to call one of those numbers and it wasn't going through as well. So I don't understand what's going on, how chaotic it is, but can you imagine that you're not receiving your money, your salary, and you're having to borrow from people because you don't have money? How are you supposed to survive for 2 weeks on that? And now we're almost into October now. What's going to happen, Tumelo?
That is a big problem, and I suppose that's why, a clear response from our ministers, from government officials is imperative at this time. Yes, we heard the Deputy President, Paul Mashatile, apologizing for this inconvenience, but, I mean, is it good enough? Have we heard at least anything in terms of the timelines and what they look like and when exactly this problem will be resolved, Hloni? Because when you talk about a system glitch, this has been a reoccurring problem when it comes to SASSA grant payments. It's nothing new. We've been here before, but I think at this point, besides, telling the elderly to come back after 3 days to check once again, a clear response is important.
Yeah, it is, and I would have expected more from the Ministers of Communication and Digital Technology and the Minister of Social Development last week in that briefing that they had, and as well as the CEOs of Postbank and SASSA. But they were very non-committal. We asked, is Postbank really the best option if this keeps happening? And the Minister Kungubele said it has to be the best option. That doesn't answer what's been going on. The Postbank CEO, they had said about 600,000 people were affected. And at the time of the press conference, she said 80 to 90% recipients had received their money. So that would be, maybe there'd be less than 60,000 that still hadn't received their money. Whether it's 60,000, whether it's 6, whether it's 60, the fact is there are people that we've seen over the past 2 weeks that have not received their money. Tumela, I'm just going to ask, if you will, to allow me to speak to Mama that we spoke to earlier today. Sebanisizile Mama.
Angitholanga bathi ayikho ayiphumi. Angitholanga sengekhaya njengamanje. Nabangitshelanga ukuthi ngibeleni futhi njengoba ngitshelwe ukuthi sengiyohlala phansi. The only thing abangibuze yona ukuthi angaze ngitshintshe ibank nangathi cha angakayitshintshe. Ibank ngitshintshe Thursday lana ayikwazi ukuthi ngabe seyishiftele lapho, so vele sengiyihlalele ekhaya. So bona next month ukuthi iyaphuma or ayiphumi. Bona mabathi ayikho nama ayikho into engizoyisho. Sengihambile-ke sithandwa sami.
Bye. So Tumelo, we have someone coming from Orange Farm coming to Lenasia just to access their funds. This is not the first time that she was here. She also came last week, but still there is nothing, and she's being told stories now. So as I said, the communication around this is also it's confusing, because we being told as the media one thing, people at the inside are being told either nothing or come back in 3 days' time, or is it your bank card that's the issue? When last month, the month before that, there wasn't an issue with the bank card. So it's just, I don't know what to say. I don't understand what's going on and why, there isn't a greater responsibility being taken around this. You talked about the Deputy President's apology. We heard those apologies, but that doesn't make up for the fact that this is going on and what actually is going on, and what are you going to do? What's a contingency plan for the future to ensure that in October, November, December, that this doesn't happen again, Tumelo?
Absolutely, and we hope to get those answers soon. At the moment, though, I suppose we have to wait for the government to release some sort of a statement, but also keen to hear exactly what transpired that made the chairperson of Postbank, as well as some of the board members, resign with immediate effect. Perhaps they can also give us, a clarity in terms of what exactly is happening behind the scenes, logistically, administrative-wise, that informs the system glitch. But we'll leave it there for now, our colleague, and we'll get to you, of course, as soon as there are any other developments. Our reporter, Hloni Mtimkulu, tracking down, of course, another day where SASSA beneficiaries have been disappointed, told that there's absolutely no money for them today, and they would have to return to come back and check once again if the system is operational and if their funds are available.